So, you have here the prophase stage. Now, generally, we have these chromosomes. We have these chromosomes. Okay, claro. Okay, the prophase stage. So, this is actually the nucleus. The nucleus, because this is mitosis, so the egg white is not included yet. That is when there is division of the egg white or cytoplasm, that is cytokinesis. This one is the division of the egg yolk or the nucleus. So, how you could see there, so DNA becomes visible as chromosomes. So, before the cell divides, you cannot see yet chromosomes. What you could see are chromatin materials. But when the cell starts to divide, now you could see here chromosomes, because the chromatin materials start to condense. There is condensation, na-condense, no? So, urag ipatambok ang chromatin, so nahimo siyang chromosomes. Okay? So, the chromosomes which are double-stranded. Chromosomes are double-stranded. No? Duha ang strands. Each strand, we call that chromatid. And the other strand is the sister chromatid. And they are held by, the sister chromatids are held by the centromere. It's a structure called the centromere. So, that is where you could see the kinetochore. Then, what else? Now, here, so we have here the nuclear envelope. Okay, so condensation of the chromosomes. Now, you could see here mga centrosomes, pair of centrioles on top of this. Pair of centrioles, which is packed already in the centrosomes. Now, these centrosomes start to go to the opposite pole. So, mag-divide, mag-go to, kanimo to sa left, kanimo to sa right. Okay? So, they start to move to the opposite pole. Kani going to the left, this one going to the right. So, now, what is the purpose of these centrioles, pair of centrioles? Now, this is needed for the spindle fiber formation later. So, this is now for the organization of the spindle. So, this is in the prometaphase. Here, you could see that the centrioles reach to the opposite pole. Nana diri sa opposite pole, and there are already spindle fibers. Spindle fibers. Now, actually, you cannot see anymore here. So, the nuclear envelope or the nuclear membrane is already disintegrating. When we start na siya to disintegrate, and then these centrioles reach to the opposite pole, and there are already spindle fiber formation. Now, what are these spindle fibers for? Now, these spindle fibers are necessary for the attachment of the chromosomes. So, chromosomes need to be attached. What is in the spindle fiber? Now, the spindle fiber consists of mga motor proteins. Mga motor proteins that would direct the chromosomes where to go. Now, if ever the chromosomes are not attached to the spindle, then they don't know where to go, whether to the left or to the right. So, that's why there is a need of spindle fiber. So, they need to be attached here so that they will be directed where to go. Okay. Now, metaphase. What is distinct in metaphase? Now, here, the spindle fibers attach to the centromere, and the chromosomes line up at the midline of the cell, so middle. So, they line up at the middle. Okay. Tanawa, they start to line up at the middle of the equatorial plate. We call that equatorial plate, or at the middle. Okay. So, this is now the equatorial plate. So, cell that undergoes mitosis consists of 2 sets of chromosomes. Now, for human, we have 2 sets of chromosomes, which is 46. When we say 2 sets, one set is donated by the sperm sa inyong papa, and the other set is donated by the mother. So, or the egg. So that's why we have 2 sets. So, ang atong cells consist of 2 sets of chromosomes, which is 46. Meaning, ang 23 ani i-donate sa sperm, the other 23 is donated by the egg. Okay? So, the chromosomes that line up here are double-stranded, and there are 46 chromosomes lining up in the equatorial plate. You cannot see here 46, okay? It cannot be accommodated in our drawing. But these are just representative for the 46 chromosomes. And you could see already that they are double-stranded, meaning duha ka chromatids for each chromosome. Okay? And they line up in the equatorial plate. Metaphase. Now, what happened during anaphase? Now, during anaphase, there is what we call as breakdown. So, the spindle fibers start to disappear. Now, during anaphase period class, the sister chromatids are separated. So, kani siya. So, this is one chromatid. Kanimo niyang pares before. This one is the sister chromatid of the other one. And this one, the sister chromatid of the other one. This one. But during anaphase, they are pulled by the motor proteins in the spindle fiber. So one goes to the right, the other goes to the left. Okay? So there is what we call a separation of the sister chromatids. Asa na siya? During anaphase period. Okay? And during telophase, here you have what? So, during telophase class, the nuclear membranes start to reappear. And you could see again decondensing chromosomes. So, mamayat na po di sila. The chromosomes mupayat sila, no? Mo-decondense man. Ini mura sila mainat. And then they start to become or appear as chromatin materials. But what is distinguishing here is during telophase, that starts actually the cytokinesis or the division of the cytoplasm. So, what is the indication that there is already cytokinesis? That this appears during telophase period. Now, there is what we call as groove or furrow that is formed here because this is animal cell. For plant cell, we call that cell plate. But for this, there is appearance of groove or furrow. So, mag-start na siya until it reaches to this area, until there will be 2 cells formed after cytokinesis is completed. Meaning, nag-divide na ang egg white. So, na-divide ang egg white, ang chromosomes, ang mga sister chromatids, ang diri, na ay sa left, then napod sa right. So, if this is 46, this is still what? 46. Kaya nga naman, isa naman sila sa 46. Kani nabilong siya sa 46. Kana isa. So, meaning kani siya, this comes from the 46 chromosomes. However, though nag-divide sila, but what is divided there is only the sister chromatids. So, how many cells or how many chromosomes are found in one of the cells? So, after cytokinesis is completed in the telophase, towards the end of the telophase, then there are 2 cells formed, which are said to be diploid. Diploid. 46 gihapon, kani 46 pero single stranded. Now, before, that's during prophase, 46 siya pero double stranded. Okay? But during cytokinesis or after telophase is completed, there is what we call as still 46 but single stranded. 46 chromosomes, but single stranded. Isa na lang ka strand. Ang katong sa prophase, to start with, duha ka strands, duha ka chromatids. Now, during anaphase, ang sister chromatids sa single double-stranded chromosome nag-separate. And that makes up here the chromosomes which are said to be two sets still, 46, but single-stranded. Now, kanus ani siya? So, muna ang sa mitosis, prophase, anaphase, prophase, metaphase, anaphase, o telophase. To start with prophase, there are 46 chromosomes double-stranded. Diploid ang mother cell. Pag abot sa anaphase, nag-separate ang sister chromatids. And pag abot sa telophase, two cells are formed and the sister chromatids completely separate. And then each cell consists now of two sets still, 46 chromosome each, but single-stranded. Okay? So, single-stranded. So, what will be the doubling of these chromosomes? Now, the doubling of these chromosomes will be in the S phase again. Now, say for example, for skin cells, moagi man siya og G1. After telophase, it passed through the G1, and then from G1 mo to sa S phase. So, at S phase, or during the synthesis phase, there will be again synthesis of another sister chromatids here. So, mag-double-stranded na po siya in preparation for another mitosis. So, pag start sa mitosis, sa prophase, double-stranded na po siya. And the cycle goes on. Now, that is what happened in skin cells. They keep dividing and dividing. Okay? Now, say, when the skin cells are shed off, actually, those dead cells that are shed off are exactly the same with the new cells formed in our skin. Okay? New cells are formed. New layers of cells are formed. Then, the outermost part are being pushed outwardly. And that becomes dead cells. Una, paglugod na to, makita na nato ang mga marble-like structures sa imong skin. Those are dead cells. Those are outermost layer of the skin that are being pushed because new layers of cells are formed. And that is the product of mitosis. Now, for bone cells, say for example, when you were still small, you keep growing. Now, what makes you grow taller? Because your bone cells have, say, the bone cells keep undergoing mitosis. So, there is increased number of cells in your bone cells. And that makes you grow taller. But for non-dividing cells, for the neurons or nerve cells, your brain cells, they are no longer dividing after they reach their maturity level. Okay? So, we will discuss for meiosis.